Hey, Tubies. This is Bob Hickman. Well, it's taken me a few days to kind of collect my thoughts on this subject. And a lot of you have been writing to me and said, Psychic Bob, are you going to talk about Prince? What's going on? We need to hear from you. Uh, well, like many of you, Prince's death was a shock to me. Um, but I have to be honest and say that even though I did not actually see that coming at this time, uh, it does not absolutely shock me. And the reason I say that is that Prince was a targeted individual like myself. And those of us in the TI community, we knew a long time ago that Prince was being targeted um, by a group of evil people, basically. It started several years ago when he had a big falling out with Warner Brothers over his music collection, his record label, and trying to basically take control of his name and his image and his catalog. And, at that time, he dropped his name off of all of his recordings and he used his symbol, which was the famous Prince symbol. I'm going to put that up here for you. This symbol is fascinating because it has a lot going on in it. If you look at it carefully, there's male energy, there's female energy. It's literally Venus and Mars. It's like kind of like the Ankh as well, which means eternal life. And from what I understand, at that time in Prince's life, when he was designing that symbol, he was discovering his spiritual self on a much deeper level. And at the same time, he was protecting himself from dark forces that were literally making an effort to control and destroy him. Um, Now, without sounding like a big conspiracy theorist, I'm going to try to keep this really simple. It seems from many people I've heard from in the entertainment industry that nowadays there are forces of darkness trying to control many artists. And basically, it comes down to you're with us, you sign your soul over to, the forces of darkness, and you're going to be successful. And if you say no to us, we'll destroy you. And this is kind of the crossroads that Prince was at in his life. And as I said many years ago, I heard that he was being targeted. Now it's, of course, coming out on a lot of the news and talk shows, and there's conspiracy theories. But really, I'll just tell you, this is not a conspiracy. It really is happening. And not just to Prince, but to many artists. But I wanted today to come here to talk to you about Prince. First of all, just to say, I send out my sympathies to his family, to his loved ones, to those who knew him, and to all his friends and to his fans everywhere. And, I count myself among Prince's fans because when I was in high school back in the 1980s, he was like all the rage. And I loved him. I thought he was great. And I'll never forget the first time I heard his song When Doves Cry. I remember cranking it full blast and having my mother come up to my room and say, "What are you doing? Turn that down." And just to be a rebellious teenager, I turned up even louder. I think that got me in trouble that day. But that was Prince. He kind of inspired a little bit of rebelliousness. And I think for teenagers of my generation of the 1980s, he was a voice for us of challenging the norm. And I think every generation, has somebody that kind of helps push that envelope. And I think if we don't have a little bit of challenge and rebellion, we don't really develop as people. And so I credit Prince for giving me enough guts to kind of push myself forward in life. So I like him, and I've always liked him for that kind of edge. Talking about his symbol, you see, I wanted to talk about that today because I think that's a powerful, powerful symbol. One of the things that Prince was doing towards the end of his life is really developing his spiritual self. He became a devout member of the Jehovah's Witnesses, and it's for me as a spiritual person, I'm happy to hear when anybody develops a spiritual life. And I don't really care what the religion is. It can be Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, whatever religion you want, Wicca, paganism. But I think it's important that we have at some point in our life an awareness of the higher power. And see, that's what happened with Prince. He discovered the higher power and he focused his life on it. So when the evil ones from Hollywood came knocking saying, Prince, we'll give you the whole world on a silver platter, but you got to sign with us and do it our way. Prince said no. Prince said, I believe in God and I have a faith and I won't sell my soul to make money. And he didn't have to do that. He was so talented that just anything he created was brilliant. He didn't need Hollywood. Hollywood needed him, and that's the truth. But anyways, his symbol got me thinking today about the power of symbols. And I wanted just to spend a few minutes talking about that. Prince, as I said, designed that fascinating symbol. I'll put it up here again for you to see. And that symbol, for what I understand, represents a time in his life where he was exploring male, female sexuality, spirituality, eternal life, all of that. And if you look at that symbol, it's really all in there. You've got the Egyptian Ankh, you've got Mars, you've got Venus, you've got the union of the two. Wonderful, fascinating symbols. And it got me thinking about, a lot of you have been, saying to me, Psychic Bob, I've just discovered Wicca. And I want to understand, how to bring some of that magical power. Some of you said to me, Psychic Bob, I keep meeting amazing Wiccan people, and they have this power around them. Where does it come from? Well, really, that power comes from an internal awareness, a spirituality, a connection, a true connection with the Lord and the Lady, with the higher powers. But sometimes to get to that connection, a little help along the way is powerful. And this is where I think magical symbols come in. Like Prince, his symbol was a source of power. It gave him focus and the power to move forward in a very challenging time in his life when a lot of people were trying to block him. In Wicca, we have wonderful sacred symbols of power as well. Like, for example, behind me, many of you have seen my backdrop, the pentacle backdrop. This is a sign of power. My shirt today, in fact, let me show you this. I'm wearing the pentacle and the moon. These are signs of power. I've chosen these to wear these symbols because they represent for me my spirituality and they connect me to that consciousness of remembering God and Goddess. I recently have to show you, Lady Angela was so kind. She sent me a beautiful present. And she sent this to me to celebrate the launching of her new pendant collection. Look at this. She chose this specifically for me. It's a pentacle or a pentagram, and it's got a raven over it. Isn't that wonderful? Now, let me tell you, the raven is my totem animal. It's my sacred symbol. So when I wear the raven, I connect to Wiccan spirituality and to my guide, the raven. But other than that, also has a second meaning. As many of you know, I hold a title of nobility. I hold the title of Baron of Ravensworth. And so the raven is a symbol also of my title as the Baron of Ravensworth. So when I wear my pendant, I'm reminded of my special honor as of being a baron, as well as my special love for Wicca and my connection to the spirit world through the totem of the raven. So when I put on my symbol, I'm feeling connected and I'm feeling powerful. And so today I would encourage you, think about exploring some symbols. Some of the Wiccan symbols are so incredibly powerful. We've got runes, okay? We've got pentacles, pentagrams, crosses, eyes, hands. Look up all these symbols. There's so many. I could probably spend 10 hours talking about them. But just in the Wiccan tradition alone, I think starting with the pentacle is a wonderful way to start. If you have a special animal that you feel drawn to, maybe a bird like the raven or an eagle, or maybe the snake, or maybe the frog, You see, why don't you get a little symbol of that and start to wear it? Because when you wear your sacred symbols, they help you connect. And if you connect to your spirituality, then you truly are walking in light and power. If you're interested in getting some sacred symbols, you might want to stop over at Lady Angela's page at rarewiccaspells.com. She's just launched a new line of these beautiful glass pendants. They're covered in glass. Here's one that I bought. I bought some of these. This is a pentacle. It's a vine pentacle. Here's another one I have. It's the zodiac wheel. And you guys know I love zodiac stuff. So there's the zodiac wheel. And of course, you know, like on my shirt, I've got the crescent moon. Well, there's also a full moon. That's the big blue full moon. Isn't that beautiful? So you see, by having these sacred symbols, when I wear them, I connect back and I'm truly walking in the power of the higher power. And I think Prince understood this. You know, I think that's what his symbol was all about. And I think in a sense he practiced magic. Now he would, as a Christian, not necessarily agree that he's practicing magic. But as a Wiccan, I look at his symbol, I say, that's pretty magical. That's pretty powerful. So there are power in symbols. And, you know, your symbol might be something different than what most people consider the symbols. Like, for example, you might like to wear a pendant of a leaf. And other people would say, well, what's a leaf? But maybe a leaf for you connects you to a special tree where you've had a spiritual experience. You know, many of you know when I walk, I go to the great oak tree, the great grandmother oak. And if you see my videos, you know that. So like I feel very connected to oak trees. In fact, I'm thinking about getting an oak tree pendant to connect to that. That's another sacred symbol. So don't limit yourself just to pinnacles, but if you love the pinnacle, by all means, wear it. I encourage it. Maybe a cross is sacred for you. Maybe a Star of David is sacred for you. Whatever your sacred symbol is, find it, wear it. It will connect you to your power, and you will become powerful through your symbol. Anyways, guys, I just want to come here. Let's all continue to send prayers and healing to Prince in the spirit world. It is my belief, as I said, that he was targeted by a group of evil people. I won't name them. I'm not sure exactly yet who they are, but they're connected to the same people that are targeting me and to all targeted individuals. So we want to send Prince love and light on his journey, that he will make his transition to the light in peace. I have been told that he is in the light, but he's still trying to figure it all out. So we want to help him have more peace and clarity. Anyways, I want to send my sympathies to all of you who are suffering. I know this has been devastating for many people. And we're going to miss him. But I also know there is an eternal life, and he's in that eternal life. So anyways, I want to share the thoughts with you today. I send my blessings to each of you. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. Tomorrow we'll be back, and we'll have messages from the spirit world on Tuesday. Thanks for being here, guys. Love you. Blessings to you. And let's send some light to Prince. Blessings to him as well.